Hi guys, here is my wedding makeup tutorial. I have a wedding to go to today, so I'm just gonna do a cute little natural beat. So first things first, I start off with using a primer. My primer was kind of giving me some difficulties, but I'm using the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, and I just rub that all in everywhere. Make sure I get under my eyes. And yes, you can even just add the primer to your eyelids. I like to do that as well. I'm sorry my voice sound a little hoarse. I was singing all night at a wedding. So I apply my second coat of primer. I'm using the Milk Makeup Matte Primer. I think this is a Pore Eclipse brand. Not brand, but how to say it? The Pore Eclipse. It's the Pore Eclipse. Yeah, that's it. So I make sure I rub this in, and you're probably wondering why I use two primers. I just like to double prime because I like the tackiness of the Hydro Grip Primer, but I also like the way this matte primer just mats out everything on my skin because I have oily skin. So after that, I apply my eyebrow gel to my eyebrows to get them ready for me to fill them in, and then I take my finger and just gently apply some pressure just to lay it flat. Then I'm using a Juvia's Place eyebrow gel just to fill in my eyebrows. I like to do little strokes. Up close and personal, you can see I like to just go with the shape of my eyebrow when I'm using the concealer. So what I would say is start off with a little bit, shape out your eyebrow, and then you can apply more as you go. After you already shaped it out, you just apply more product and then just clean up wherever you feel needs to fix. So I do like to apply concealer at the top of my eyebrow. This is just something I'm accustomed of doing, so I just do it. And then I'm going in with my matte sunscreen because this is an outside wedding and I just want to make sure my skin is fully covered. So after applying my sunscreen, I go in with my first concealer. I use 3 different shades of concealer. This first one is like 2 to 3 shades lighter than me, and the second one is like exactly to my natural skin color. So I apply the lighter one in the inner corner of my eyes, and I apply my outer concealer at the outer corner of my eye. I would advise y'all to like dry down a bit just for blending purposes. So I fast forward and I just apply my blush while my concealer starts to dry. I'm using the Juvia's Place Blush Liquid Blush in the shade Pink Lady. Or is it Lady Pink? I think it's Pink Lady. The reason why I am blending out my blush first is because I just like how it looks when I blend out my concealer and I just go over the blush a little bit. So now, as you see, I did spray my brush before I started to blend out everything. I used the Milk Hydro, is it Hydro Grip like refreshing spray? I think that's what it is. I'll have it linked in the description. But yes, so I'm just blending out everything. Do go on your nose, the bridge of your nose, because this is for contour purposes. Like I'm literally laying out my contour before I even apply my contour shade. So I just like to blend out, and like I always would say, please pat your makeup in, do not swipe, pat everything in. Then I'm just applying my concealer on like my contour area. So I just applied a little bit on my nose and my forehead, and then I'll apply on my chin. Contouring is really not that hard, but anyways, let's move. So So now I'm just blending out where I applied that concealer. Even though I am contouring, I just like to blend out my light shade concealer on my nose first before I apply my contour color. So what I like to do is just make a small dot at the side of my cheeks, because you don't really need that long line going down. And I also like to apply right under, what do you say, like my jawline, just to give me like a more snatched look. Now I am applying on my nose. I just this thing is going so fast. Yes, I applied it on my nose, and now you see I am blending out my contour. So a tip is for contouring is always blend in an upward motion. So I am blending going up into my blush and that I applied already. And please, for just a better movement, always spray your brush before applying. Like, spray your brush. It's gonna help you with moving that makeup around. Getting my jawline. Look at that. I already look like I have a nice jawline. So now I am applying my foundation, and I just going in to the places that does not have any foundation. So you could basically say this is like the underpainting method, and I just go in and I blend everything out. My foundation shade is the NARS in the shade Deep 3. It is a matte foundation as well, because like I said, I do have oily skin. So coming now to my contour, I like to use an eyeshadow brush just to blend out everything, and I just go with the shape of my nose. This is why I said with the concealer, when you're applying it and you're blending up in your nose, you are creating that shape for your nose. So I like to blend and then go into my eyebrows. So I continue to blend, go up in my eyebrows until I just feel like everything is blended out. So now I'm applying my highlight color, because the UK girlies, they taught us about this highlight. So I'm using the One Size Beauty in the shade I don't know. I will put it in the description box. But I let it dry down, and I go over on my eyelids with that same concealer shade that I use on the outer corners of my eyes. And I'm just prepping my eyes because we're gonna do some quick eyeshadow. We're gonna do a quick eyeshadow look. So I'm using this Juvia's Place palette in chocolate, I think is the name, and I'm using this light brown color first in the outer crease of my eyes, and I'm just gonna blend that in. Now I'm going with this eyeshadow palette. It's called The One, and I'm taking like this light pinkish color and I'm placing it on the middle of my eyelids, because I'm gonna also do a lighter pink at the edge and the corners of my eyelids. So with this, when I'm applying eyeshadow, I do like to use more of a flat brush, and I just like to pat the eyeshadow in just to get the color on your eyelids. So yes, now I'm using the lighter shade, and like I say guys, pat it in, pat that color in, because I want my eyeshadow to be popping, so I'm just applying and packing it on top of each other. And you could just do this to your desired shade and how bright you want it. You could just do that. So just to clean up everything, I'm going back in with that blending brush that had the light brown from the Juvia's Place palette, and I'm just gonna blend out everything so everything looks more put together. So now for my eyeliner, I love using eyeliner pens because I am not the best with eyeliner, and this makes it so much easier for me. I don't really do like wing liners and stuff. I just like to just go over my regular shape of my eye, and I'm content with that. So now I am blending out my brighter concealer. I'm still gonna go a little bit on my nose just to clean up, and like I said, I don't know the shade. I'm gonna just put it in the description box below. And while we're at it, when you get to the description box, please just subscribe. So now I'm gonna set everything with the One Size Beauty setting powder in the shade Translucent. I just like to set first and then bake, but for time purposes I did not do the baking method because the wedding was at 4 and I think this was around like 3 something and we had to go. So I do apply the powder on my chin and I'll also apply it on my forehead. So now I'm applying the powder in like a line, as you can see, just to shape out my contour. I don't know what this be doing for me, but it just be doing something for me. So I like to apply it like that. Applying the setting powder at the bridge of my nose. Now we're moving on to bronzer. I do like to apply some bronzer on my nose in the same direction as how I blended out my contour. As you can see, look at that, it's giving color to my nose. And I like to do this after I apply my setting powder because like with setting powder everything looks a little white and I just want to bring back some color on my nose, so I apply my bronzer on my nose. Then you see me, I just take my foundation brush and I'm just like blending everything together because your foundation brush is literally your magic eraser when doing your makeup. Any little mistakes or anything, you take your foundation brush and you can fix that up real quick. So now I'm taking my bronzer and I'm now applying it to my cheek where I apply my contour shade, and I'm just going in an upward motion again and I'm patting that in. Guys, when I tell you pat your product in, now I'm gonna apply my blush using the Juvia's Place powder blush palette. I don't know the name, like I said, everything will be in the description. I do like a very pink blush, but I actually don't like it too bright, so I'm gonna go in with my foundation brush later on and just clean that up. At this point I was looking like the bride, I was looking cute. So now just to set everything and blend everything out, I'm using my Fenty Beauty powder foundation in the shade 470 and I'm just cleaning up everything and blending out everything so that everything looks as natural as possible. That's the key here. We're trying to look as natural as possible even though our face is beat to the god. So now I like to spray my setting spray on my puffer and just pat that setting spray in. I'm using the One Size Beauty waterproof setting spray, and like I said, this is my routine, so I just like to spray my setting sprays on the puffer and pat it in. I also use the Pore Eclipse matte setting spray from Milk Makeup as well, just to set everything in, and to me I always get a flawless look after doing that. So this is the final look. I didn't get to like do closing out. But this is the final look, getting ready for the wedding. I had already put on my dress and I'm happy with my makeup. So if you like this makeup and you want to see more makeup tutorials, please like and follow. Comment what you would like to see me do, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching my video. Thank you guys, I love y'all. Everybody who will subscribe in the future, thank you so much.